ignoring me?
Ash. Ah. Ah. Yeah, he's hiding from me too. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just being weird.
Yes, he is. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mashiakosaurus, and you may be asking yourself, why, Mashi, am I staring at your shitty-ass desktop? Well,
He just wants to showcase his porn folder.
I mean, I actually was going to put a folder on here that said fucking, like, super hardcore furry porn just as a joke, but, like, I realized that without the mouse activating on it, it wouldn't come across. So, yeah.
You just have to have a folder that looks like.
Yeah. So,
You're a closeted diaper or something.
I am pretty sure I am not, actually.
You aren't. I'm teasing you.
Anyway. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be playing Uru tonight. And Uru is goofy. For one thing, Uru does not support Steam overlay. So, be aware of that. For another thing, I got Fraps running. You gotta have, well, you don't have to use Fraps, but you have to use something to fix your frame rate to a specific rate, because if you don't, then bad things will happen to you. That said, let's go ahead here. And, okay, yeah, you're going to run setup. Okay, why are you saying that Uru is running? Uru is definitely not running. Game. Okay. Let's try this one. There we go. Now we got the... And I don't actually want the overlay. Perhaps. Fraps, come on, man. Okay, this is great and all, but Uru. Yes, I want to quit because that's not the game I wanted to load. Uru is running. Please exit before running Uru setup. Steam. Uru. Whatever. What the hell? I'm leaving this in the video because I just want to show you guys that Uru can be a pain in the absolute ass. And I have no idea at this point what is preventing it from running. Because it's clearly not. Like, you can see right here that, like, Uru is not on the list here. We'll go down. See, Uru's definitely not running. So what the heckies? Let's open file location. And there we go. I had to manually load the stupid. No, I don't want that. I don't want those players. I want to create a new player. Oh boy. Okay, now graphics. I'm going to assume that I can pretty much run all of this. And here's all this stuff. So, Uru is different from your traditional Myst games. Let's go ahead and we'll play. Okay, so this was actually not considered one of the mainline Myst series. It was released after Myst 3, but before Myst 4. And believe it or not, this is probably the single biggest failure in the entire Myst line. What they wanted to do with this game is they didn't want to make just a typical like they didn't want to make a typical yes, okay, that's monitor calibration, that's fine. They didn't want to make a typical adventure game. They wanted to make an MMO. So you have to create an avatar and stuff. Let's go ahead here and let's...
Wow, these are your choices?
Yeah, these are your choices.
You don't get a choice of gender?
You do, but you have to choose your gender at the launcher. It's yeah, it's bizarre. And once you've chosen your character, you like cannot go back. I'm gonna make this more or less myself here, and I'm pretty tubby.
Aww.
So
it's only because you're over 40 and don't really exercise very much, because
yeah,
pandemic and we don't like people. We like kitties who break laptops. Apparently, hi.
Yeah, the rest like there's a lot of face options. Most of them don't
over there. I don't mind.
Don't change very much, but if you like realism, it sort of does realism for you. You do have a lot of options. Unfortunately, most of them are terrible. Yeah, let's... Oh, whoa. Let's go with this. We'll give ourselves a... Yeah, that looks kind of like a shirt or a jacket I used to have. Hands, I'm pretty sure I do not need gloves. Lower body, definitely jeans. Maybe a bit more that. Belt. And feet. I'll go with the hiking boots. But it would be nice if we had some non-stupid options. I do believe right here they allow you to change gender with this button, but like it's goofy as hell the way they do this. And you really can't make a funny looking character. Like your options are pretty static to what you get. So whatever. Like we're running with this. And this is the intro.
Isha, last night your mother had a dream. The dream tells that the ancient Dunny city will grow again someday. New seekers of Dunny will flow in from the desert, feeling called to something they do not understand. But the dream also tells of a desert bird with the power to weave this new Dunny's future. We fear such power. It changes people. Isha, our desert bird, your search seems to take you further and further from us. I hope what you find will bring you closer.
Okay, so this game and the next game are going to use 3D modeled environments. And here we are. These are our controls. Yep, walk forward, walk backward, turn left and right. Fucking tank controls. And you may notice that this isn't like asking you to configure your controls. This is just telling you what they are. You can't actually change most of these. The preferred way of moving around is actually with the mouse. So you hold the left mouse button to move forward. The right mouse button to run. Well, left and right at the same time to run. And if you're holding the right mouse button, you can also look around. So that's how you get around, is you hold both left and right mouse button down, and you can run and control your direction stuff. If you hold the middle mouse button down, you walk backwards. At no point does this become normal. Like, WASD do not do anything. This is me holding down my left mouse button and just turning the mouse left and right. And then if I also hold down the right mouse button, I can actually run. This is quite possibly the stupidest control scheme in the history of mankind. WASD, like, for when I did Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, WASD had not yet become standardized. So I could forgive those games for not using WASD by default. And actually, like, the Steam version, I think, reverts to those being the default controls. But with this game, there's no excuse. Like, arrow keys to move forward, backward, turn left and right. Like, why am I using tank controls in this game? Like, this is ridiculous. So, the plot, such as it is that we are in Nevada, in the present day. See, look at this. Oh, sorry, New Mexico, not Nevada. We're in New Mexico. And we're in the desert, and we're at this place. And that's all the story that we're given at this point. The game basically takes place in the modern day, or at least what was the modern day as of making of this game. And by the way, your character jumps like an absolute tool. Like, look at this. Ha ha! Taps his heels together. Like, this is what we're dealing with, folks. And yeah, move backwards too. Like, this is terrible. These controls are awful. But anyway, the first thing that we're going to have to do is there is a trailer over here where you can't see. And we're going to need to go to that. But before we do, you can save yourself a lot of time if you look behind this sign. See, there's a weird cloth with a hand on it. Click on it. You touch it, part of the hand lights up. Great. Trust me, you'll save yourself a shit ton of time by doing that. And so we run. This place is relevant to the novels, the Myst novels. But I've mentioned this in some of my other Myst playthroughs. Like, I don't know why, but a ton of the backstory stuff that is kind of like extremely relevant is in backstory novels that like aren't referenced in the games, like directly. Like they never tell you, like, hey, you should have read this book. But the books fill in a ton of information. I've only read 2 of them. There's one, at least one, that was published as of the publishing of this game that I haven't read. And I think that it happens to be like the most relevant one, for reasons that we'll see. But we're gonna go up to this idiot.
Hey, welcome. So, I'm Zandy. I probably know more about why you're here than you do.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. You felt drawn here.
Do you have to
It's not
pee,
you.
Zandy?
I'm not really here
Kind
to
of
give you
squirming.
answers, just to give you help and get you started. She's left a message for you in the cleft. Listen to it well. Follow her. Find the journals. And then enter the tree. Oh,
Yeah, this music is
check
going to be
with me if you need
copyright
help.
struck, I'm sure.
So that is a unique special track that's in this. I don't know if that'll get me a copyright claim or not.
I don't think it was.
It was very short and it was kind of muffled, so we'll see what YouTube says.
I think it's okay.
I mean, if YouTube says it's not, I'll take it down. But like, anyway, so he says find the journeys. Like by journeys, he's referring to these things which are called journey cloths. So we have to find those. And there's a big hole in the ground here. Huh. And over here, if you saw my Riven playthrough, or if you've played Riven yourself, this stuff should look familiar. This is the telescope that Den had installed over the fissure in Riven. It ended up here, in New Mexico. And over here, this weird skeleton thing. If you look at it, it's got tusks on it. This is a whelk, one of the sea monsters from Riven. Oh, come on, dude. And there's a journey cloth in here. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Hut. Hut. It is weird as hell playing a Myst game with like jumping and shit. By the way, like I said before, this was intended to be an MMO. I have no idea how the fuck a Myst MMO was intended to work. Like, it's a puzzle game. It's not an action game. There's no XP to grab. Like, there's no raids to do. Like, you solve puzzles. Well, once those puzzles are solved, they're solved. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do as, like, a community or something? Like, just kind of hang out on the servers? And, honestly, I don't think that the game creators really had that clear of an idea themselves. Oh, Pete. The bridge fell. Don't you hate it when that happens? So yeah, I have no idea. Like, I don't think the creators had any idea of how this was supposed to work as an actual game. And that's probably the single biggest reason why this absolutely failed. Like, this was a critical and financial failure on the part of Cyan. And this is the text that Atris was reading off, which, by the way, is the only appearance Atris makes in this game, is his voiceover in the beginning. The rest of it is all Yisha. So, as you can see, she made some notes that are gibberish on the side. Also, see these goggles here? My cursor, when I'm over it, turns into the little dot, meaning I can interact with it. And now, I'm wearing those goggles. That's one of the main mechanics of the game, is clothing for your virtual avatar. You find it all over the place, and you collect it, and then I guess wear it. It's kind of annoying, though, that, like, if you grab it, it automatically picks it up. And then in here, they have a bunch of weird, ridiculous shit. But we can't actually do anything with that until we get the power started. So we're going to go over here. And now that thing released its grip on that shaft. So, slowly we march our way back out. And yeah, we could run. Doesn't really make us much faster. Fun fact about Uru is that when it originally launched, it was this is the single player, right? This is the like solo campaign that's meant to ease you into the online portion. The online portion was called Uru Live, and fun thing about that is that Uru Live was not available at launch. Not because it was like not ready yet, but because it had already been shut down by the time this hit shelves. It never left beta, and they still sold this in stores, despite the fact that it was a multiplayer game and the multiplayer function had been stripped out of it. That's ballsy, Cyan. That's ballsy. In fairness, Cyan has kept it going, which I'm surprised at, but it's true. There was a point a few years back where Cyan sold the rights to another company, I don't remember who bought it up and sold rights to Myst Online. And it was basically the online version of Uru. And they ran it for about a year, and then they shut it down because like fucking nobody was signing up for it. And when they shut it down, they let the rights go back to Cyan, and Cyan has actually kept it going now. Like, Myst Online is still a thing to this day, and Cyan keeps the servers for it up and running, and it's free to play. So, I mean, you know, props where it's due, Cyan. That's pretty cool of you. So I'm thinking that it was Ubisoft who were real interested in getting their money's worth out of this product and insisted on selling it. Anyway, and yes, there's physics-enabled objects. So, what we want to do here, we got 2 more of these things to hit. And I do want to point out that these drawings, these sketches, also appear in at least one of the Myst books. The novels, I mean. Because I remember seeing them. And now we need to get back. Yeah, better go down safely. Anyway, but yeah, they actually sold this, despite the fact that the online portion was completely gutted by the time it hit store shelves. They later released a free DLC called 2 Dunee, which was basically they took the online portion of it and like repurposed it for single player and released it as a free DLC. And then what I suspect very strongly, but cannot prove, is they took a bunch of stuff, a bunch of content that they were working on that was going to be online content, but wasn't finished at the time that, like, the online portion went down. And they finished it up and repackaged that as single-player content and charged people $20 for it. Because, seriously, the Path of the Shell DLC was some fucked up shit. We'll cover all of that through our playthrough, but for right now, we just have 1 more of these journey cloths to find, and in order to do that, we need to use the viewer machine that's behind me. Now, this has a code on it. It doesn't look like a code, but it is. So it's like a spiral, and then like a winky eye, a turtle, and then like a 3E. So we want this spiral, and then winky eye, turtle, 3E. So that's the correct code. We're going to hit this button.
Oh yes, not underneath, they won't understand.
Folks, this is Yisha.
Once again, the stream in the cliff has begun to flow. It was dry for so long. The water is flowing in from the desert. The storm is coming. Have you heard of the city? The deep city, the ancient Uru? Where there was power to right worlds. For thousands of years, the city lived beneath the surface. Keeper of the secret. Keeper of the power. Keeper of the ages.
Mm-hmm.
Always keeping. The city grew proud, and then it died. The water flows where it wills. It seeks its own path uncontrolled, except that it flows downward, always downward. Dunee, the city of ages, of other worlds, died. But now it breathes again. It awaits. Some will seek that destination, but you should seek the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's as a fine tapestry, complex beyond comprehension, but now torn. We will show you remnants, pieces of the tapestry, pieces of the journey. Find these remnants, these journeys. 7 in each age. 7 here in the desert. Consider it a quest. No, flows downward. And there it pools and collects, and finally, once again, it reaches the roots. And the tree begins to grow again. I am Yisha. My parents brought me to this place. We will bring you.
Okay, so a couple of takeaways from that. One, Yisha is much older than she was in Myst 4. Considerably so. She's a fully grown woman. Her hair has mysteriously gone from blonde to red. So
It's
maybe
not
she
that.
dyes it. She's also apparently gone completely insane. Because most of what she says doesn't make any sense. She just kind of babbles. She talks in riddles. And she's absolutely high on her own farts. So, we'll deal with her a lot throughout this game. But for now, we have basically completed the tutorial world. And we come into this cave, and there's all kinds of weird tribal artwork on the walls, which, no, it's not supposed to make sense to you at this point. And there's this book. And we're going to grab it. This is a place called Relto. Relto is basically your own personal Myst age. Unlike other ages, this one can be customized. And every player of the game would have one of these, and you could design it however you wanted, like based on like finding stuff in game. It looks a lot like Myst Island in terms of layout, but almost completely absent of everything. And let's go ahead and open this up. And let's hit this lever here to let some light in. There we go. Okay. So we have 3 things of note here. One is we have a bookshelf that has very few books in it. That's fine. We're going to leave that alone for right now. We have another bookshelf over here. This has several books in it as well. This one gives you descriptions of the different ages in the vanilla game. This one gives you descriptions of the ages in Dunny. This one is your own personal journal, which you can open up and you can write whatever you want in it. And these are specific to the Path of the Shell, and they're basically religious books. All of them. This right here is a wardrobe. If you want to change your clothes, you can go in there and... Oops, I clicked on it. Well, if you want to change your clothes, you do that. And I think the only thing that I want to do is... you know what? Let's just leave the stupid goggles on. Now... out here on our front lawn, there are these 4 pillars. Each one of these has a little hand thing. You hit it, and it gives you access to a book. Each one of these is a different age. We are going to visit all of them, but for now, I just want to show you what our options are. So we have the yellow, the green, the purple, and the blue. We're going to be starting on blue because there's very specific benefits to blue over the other ones. So This is a book that describes each age. Teledon is the Yellow Age, but Garrison is the age that we're going to, the Blue Age. The laws contrived by the proud are their security and their undoing. Such laws make disobedience a virtue and obedience a sin. And then some blah, 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 book 12, entry 32, item 130. It's great. All of these are like that. So, let's go ahead and let's go to Garrison. Loading screen. Loading screens are frequent in this game. You will come to hate them. They're especially bad if you are playing this on a PC that was like even remotely appropriate for running this. Because back then these loading screens were pretty terrible and extremely frequent. So here's the age Garrison, and what does this say? Please retrieve your key. Over on this side, you can see there's a weird window. There's a window on the other side. So we go through here. This thing can't do anything with. That door is locked to us. And push these stupid cones out of the way. But we have no way of opening this door. But as you can see, some of these doors have been pre-opened for us. And here we are. Weird yellow thing that we can push around. This is a weird stone that looks like it's got the same type of material as that journey cloth. We're not going to touch that just yet, but we will come back to it. And you can see that this is some kind of equipment room of some variety, but you can't tell what. And this right here, this machine dispenses what the game calls a key. This gives us the options to take pictures. I'm actually going to delete this because this is not actually... These were from my previous playthrough. I don't know why they're still here, possibly because I named the character the same. But you can take pictures with this. You can mute the game with this. You can move the thing, and you can make the on-screen display go away. You also notice that there's like a coordinate system here, but they all read 0. We'll get to that. The key is a very important item. We really just absolutely have to have that just to get around. Well, peas. I didn't make that jump. But look at this. See, our Relto book is blinking. And now... So, the only way out of here is to link back home. Also, if you ever fall in a place where you can't get out of, or if you're going to fall to your death, your character will automatically link out. So, notice though,
so
now...
you can't suicide out of this game no matter how hard you try.
No, you cannot. In fact, watch. Here, I'll try.
Suicide!
Jump to our death. Automatic links out. Generally known as panic linking. So yeah, you cannot kill yourself in this game.
Which is what I would recommend, but unfortunately.
All of these sticks right here These are because we collected that page. It put a bunch of garbage on our island. So, isn't that wonderful? That we have garbage now? Oh, because we visited it, it's going to be on the bookshelf. So here we go. This gives us a log of every world we've been to. So we're going to go back to here. And because we haven't actually like accomplished anything, we're right back where we started. I mean, we got our key, and the key is the most important thing, and the reason why we come here first is to get that. That really opens up a lot of the game to us. And you can't beat Garrison in one go anyway, for reasons.
Is that the name of the world or person?
Yes, it's Garrison is the name of the world, and yes, it's stupid. Whoa, 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 whoa. Controls are goofy, but we need to get down in here because this is where the first cloth is. There we go. Okay, having done that, let's go back and hit that weird thing that we saw in the other room. Now that we've hit our first actual checkpoint in the level. Because we're going to want to have hit this later on in the game. So we're going to hit this. And I can't quite remember if this was in the vanilla game or if this was added by 2Dunee. But you can see that there is this massive city complex. And we appear to be in some kind of Twilight world. And all of this. This is all 2Dunee. This is that content. I don't remember if this spot right here was in the vanilla game or if it was added by the 2Dunee expansion, but the actual city below us you can get into with the expansion. Remember, the expansion was just the multiplayer content repurposed into single player. So this was already done and functional. So that's why I say I don't know. So this this right here, very significant. Also completely cryptic and makes no sense. Don't worry about it. There's nothing we can actually do from here. We're going to go back. Yes, again. Now that we've hit one of our cloths, though, you can see now we have an option to go here. This will take us to the last cloth we hit. Very important, because sometimes you don't want to traverse the entire world over again. There's a couple of worlds in particular where that's particularly obnoxious, if you had to do that. So, here we are. We're wandering around. We could use some exercise. Guy's a little chubby. I mean, doesn't have a chubby. He just is chubby. So, all of this is closed off, but I'm sure you saw there's a hole in the wall here. And we can slip in. And it's got all these weird cage box things. And this is actually the room where we came in from. This is the other side of one of those windows of it. So we're going to climb up. Gazornenblatts. So, second, what's it? And we climb up again. You may notice that the camera does not help you in this game. Far from it. Far from it. The camera is your enemy. We're going to walk up here. So we know that something happened here that was catastrophic. It's okay, I can just do a tightrope walk with these controls. And again, bear in mind, I'm using the mouse button to move. Okay, so everything is closed off here, but there's a huge crack in it. If we just keep running into this crack, any crack you see, you want to penetrate as deeply as possible. Trust me. Only good things can come from that. Yep. Yep, just keep going. Just gotta have a little patience and faith. See, some of these were damaged, and hey, look at that. There's a little alcove in here. And now we run against the wall again. Come on, Chubby. There we are. Okay. That is the only way that you can access this room. This room is very important. This is the power room. This is where all of Garrison gets its power. But there's a problem. The generator is not turned on. So we're going to have to turn it on. You do that by stepping on this. Don't ask me why, but stepping on this causes this stone pillar to rise up. Okay. Now. Okay, that didn't work. I'm hitting the wrong thing. The idea here is that this gives you enough juice to kickstart the system. But only just. If you had more people in here, it would make a little more sense. But and, you know, that's going to be a running theme, especially in the later content, is if you had more people, this would make sense. I can't technically do this. You have to do all of this in a very specific order, and I just don't remember what the order is, so that's why I'm fucking it up. So long as I don't let that get all the way down, everything will be fine. So now the foot pedals work. Should be able to hit this. There we go. Now we can turn on elevators and doors. Actually, I think these ones are elevators and this one's doors. But whatever, doesn't matter. We now have power, which means the doors work. Because of course, even though these things look like giant rock slabs, they're actually like fucking Star Wars super tech doors. I mean, that makes sense, right? Now, we can't actually go through any of the doors that flash green like that. That basically means, like, our key doesn't work. We're not high enough a security level to do that. But no. Don't be climbing stuff. Let's get out of here. Now we can run around the outer edge. This elevator does not work because this elevator only goes down. Like, now you're asking yourself, how the fuck does that work? What I mean is that, like, it can take you down from the top level, but then it goes back up automatically with no one aboard. If you want to go to the top level, you need to use this door, which will take you to the top level, but then resets its position. So this is the actual age of Garrison. It's a humongous jungle, and we're on a huge spinning platform facing an even more huger spinninger platform, and we have to get over to it. Now, this is actually the reason why I'm running fraps. This jump is actually impossible on anything approaching a modern computer. This bug has never been patched. It's existed since day one. For reasons that I cannot even begin to explain, collision depends on frame rate. Holy shit, I actually made it. I cannot believe that. Oh, no, never mind. He panicked.
You get to do it again.
Yes, I know, but
Again.
that was my intention though from the start, was to show off that that's why you need fraps. I don't know why, but the collision with world geometry in some cases depends on your frame rate. And we're getting a much higher frame rate out of this game than what it was ever intended to give. Which makes it, you know, very convenient for us, because we can run around and have fun. But when we get to that jump, that rock wall will basically always be intangible, and we will fall through it every time. It's annoying. So I have to use fraps to limit our frame rate down to, like, something approaching, like, 20 or 30 frames per second in order to complete this jump. It's a very pretty world, though. So, if you'll excuse me... hold on one second.
Did you miss your jump? Or you have to readjust?
I need to adjust fraps because it's not set to Alright. No, that's not.
Have you always had to do that?
It was less of an issue. No, that's Ah, okay. I'm using the wrong function. It was less of an issue with older PCs. So
our old dinosaur ones couldn't handle power.
yes, ironically, like our PC is way too strong or too fast to run this correctly. So I need to use the video capture function. I was using the benchmark function. So that's what I did. I fucked it up. But you need it down to around 20 to 30 frames per second to be able to make this jump. Now, you might ask yourself, Mashi, how the hell do you fuck that up so bad? Like, how do you code a 3D game engine where frames per second determines collision with the world? And the answer is incompetence. Sheer incompetence. I've never heard of any other game having this issue. But whatever. We've done it, and we've hit this point. I'm sure you noticed the stuttering there. That was me activating fraps. So, the first jump is the hard one. The second jump is easy. And we don't need fraps for this. And there we go. And I always like to take a snapshot, be a real tourist. So let's head into the Death Star. You guys couldn't have parked a little closer? Yes? What are you doing? There. I was not kidding about it being the Death Star here. Like, look at this place. So, if we open this up, we have this weird room. Over here, there is this thing and a chair to watch. I believe that this was for some kind of like mini game that people could play, like a versus type mini game. There's also a passageway over here that's hard to notice that takes you to this room. This was definitely added in one of the expansions. This was not in the vanilla game. The machine was here, but it didn't work at launch. But this gives you the full suit. So, like, now you can be like a stormtrooper. You still jump like a friggin' fairy, though. And, you know.
Because fairies are known for jumping instead of flying.
Yeah. You know. No offense to you lovely homosexual people out there. I love you dearly, but, like, you know. This guy... I mean, he's,
Well, at least he doesn't run like my brother.
This is true.
Because that is horrifying. At least he kind of moves like a normal person. His jump is a little weak, but...
Yeah. This is another room with a view of the board and some, like, display terminals. So this is typical of the journals that you're going to find in Uru. These are left by the DRC, that's the Dunny Restoration Council, which is supposed to be a team of people who are working to restore the city of Dunny.
Okay, tell me this is cute.
That's very cute. So this one is on the key. Base functions. Dunny number 3 on the backside of all of these devices. 3 functions. There's certainly more than that. 3 core functions. In any case, it's a convenient name. Key. If you're not familiar, Dunny number 3 looks like the letters K and I together with a line over the top and bottom. Nexus interface. The Nexus seems to be just an interpreter for key data. Keys allow users to provide or decline book access to other keys. I think we can make this work for neighborhoods as well. Age names defined in the key appear in the Nexus, or should. Interpersonal communication. Obviously the most important function, voice or text communication to other key users. Inter or intra-age doesn't seem to matter. So this is like the in-universe explanation for why you could communicate with, other people, other users. Image capture, storage, and transfer. A single button press captures an image and stores it within an appropriate age directory. Images can be sent to other keys, as well as uploaded to some imagers, depending on versions. Seems main servers coordinated this functionality. Might be tough to revive. Journal entry, storage, and transfer. Fairly simple. Write notes and store them. Again, server handles transfer journal, key to key, or key to imager. Markers. The ability to drop and collect markers at the operator's present location in an age. Layers of functionality here. Requires more research. Perhaps this feature could be tapped to help with the GZ problem. Interesting. We don't know what the GZ problem is, obviously. I believe that the markers were also used as an element for some of the multiplayer minigames. Doors. In this age, the key, even at its most basic level, opened level 1 doors. Level 2 and 3 doors require higher versions. There's much more variety to these devices than we first suspected. The dispenser is capable of handing out at least 5 versions and possibly more. Feature set varies wildly. These must have been a system to control, or there must have been a system to control and track these devices. Where? Imager built into the unit is surprisingly compact and efficient. Uses the same blasted lattice compression system, for lack of a better word. Have to crack that. Powerful projection for something that fits on the top of a hand. Markers. Purpose. Perhaps a training tool for maintainers. Markers can be set up and recruits and or lower ranks run through the course. Interface. Keys interact with markers in 3 ways. Team capture. Once all the markers are placed, there are 2 teams that can collect markers. The key registers the marker to a respective team. Blah, blah, blah. Hold, single capture. They're just describing games. Markers themselves seem identical to those produced by the Great Zero. In fact, I'm positive the same technology is being used, if not the Great Zero itself. It's possible the keys are communicating with the Zero itself and writing these marks anywhere they're registered. Problems with that theory, maintainer markers, etc. Key registration. Key tracks of other keys on 3 levels. Intra-age. Any other key within the age is logged and displayed. Key to key. An individual key can be registered for specific tracking. As a result, no matter where that key is, journals, photos, etc. can be sent and communication can occur. Perhaps this was used for temporary or semi-permanent team missions. For our purposes, a friends list? Groups. The key also recognizes groups somehow related to the Nexus. Seems possible, if properly configured, to support neighborhood lists with this function. So, again, this is mostly related to functionality that is no longer relevant because there's no multiplayer in this game. And here we have another of these strange tablets. We're going to come back to that. And we keep running around here. Man, that little knob on the back of his head just kind of bugs me. And this Looks for all the world like the place where we got the suit from. Same passageway. A repeat of that room. So you might think that we've looped, but we haven't actually. It's just that this facility has 2 sets of 3 identical rooms. Or rather, 2 sets of 3 rooms each, and the sets are identical. Like, this is clearly not the same room, because, like, the chair layout is different. And there's a journey cloth in here. Okay, we're missing 2 journey cloths. But that's alright. Simpson, don't mention anything about the upper area of the fortress in your garrison report. I don't want people wandering all over Teledon looking for that weird link stone. Sharper. So, this is from Simpson. The age is Garrison. Date 11/12/2001 to 6/4/2002. Multiple trips. Okay, one thing seems immediately obvious. This place was built for security. No one could write a link anywhere in this place or the next. It was obviously a maintainer facility of some kind, and it doesn't seem that it was for general guild members. By that, I mean it was limited to at least the higher-ranking members. As to how they got the first link written here, I don't know. Probably while it was under construction. It does seem pretty obvious that it's not going to happen again unless something major happens to this place. I should say that Kodama has some theories about the age that have held up so far. May have been a special forces of a sort for the maintainers. Started later, mid-8000s. Became somewhat of a research and development arm for the Maintainers Guild. I don't know, worth mentioning though. There are quite a few mentions of such groups in other docs Kodama's found, or at least seen. Entrance. To begin with, I'd wager that no one other than a high-ranking government official or similar ever even made it to this room. That's just my guess, but it seems pretty sound. I don't think that any school buddies or girlfriends dropped by to see their maintainer friend. The linking book we found was deep within the Maintainer Guild. I'm sure it was well guarded in its day. You can see right off the bat the entrance was extremely secure. Thick walls, 1 door, a high window, sniper maybe. If you manage to get in with a bomb or something, it's not going to do any noticeable damage. I love the maintainer symbol on the floor and everywhere else you look, as though I might forget and wonder where I am. Waiting room. So, visitors are escorted into this little waiting room. This would be the little alcove where it said, pick up your key. So, there's a window on one side, looks almost like a ticket window. Maybe turn in weapons or goods that aren't allowed. Maybe books. I'm sure they didn't want books in here. Yeah, it looks like mainly for books. There's another ticket window on the other side, although this one looks different. I'm pretty sure those are beetle cages on the other side. Beetles that sought out ink. Somebody was just telling me that there are all kinds of references to them in other docs. You didn't make it past this room with a book. As well, the doors never open at the same time. So even if you somehow make it out of the entrance room, you're still not going to make it past these mammoth doors out of the waiting area. Halls. Looks like the hall running along the entire circumference of the... excuse me. Let me try that again. Looks like the hall ran along the entire circumference of the building. There are plenty of rooms. I'll just try to hit them one at a time. First is an elevator, though. However, it looks like it's only down. Wonder if it was always that way? More security, I guess. Once you've made it into the halls, there's still nowhere to go, at least if they didn't want you going anywhere. Lockers. I would think that any books that were brought to the age were kept in the lockers. I'd imagine that some of the workers here or frequent visitors also kept some equipment, but I could be wrong on that. Looks like they kept some maintainer gear as well. Markers, helmets, etc. Seems a little out of place, honestly. Keys. Okay, things are becoming a little more clear now. Just had a long chat with Laxman and researched some different docs over in the city that Nick had. Looks like the current condition I'm seeing was not the original condition. The key was a major development, not just for the guild, but also apparently for all citizens. Turns out they were just starting to hand out the keys to the public around the time of the fall. Nice timing. So it looks like they had done some renovations in order to facilitate the mass amounts of visitors that would be coming in order to retrieve keys. Turns out that my little girlfriend analogy was pretty much completely wrong. Girlfriends and more were going to start coming here, at least to the open sections. Kodama corrected me. We've actually found multiple books in neighborhoods, as well as the guarded maintainer book I mentioned earlier. Whoops. So, visitors come in, walk through the doors, beetles check for books, and they walk down the hall into the key room, get a key, and link out. Guards were probably at the up elevator, which is just behind this room. If they did happen to bring any illegal items, they get them back from the other side of the locker room, and off they go back home with their new shiny key. Makes more sense as to why the maintainer paraphernalia was in the locker rooms too. Probably a little display type thing for all the visitors. Impress them. Warehouse. Quite a bit of goodies in here, all of which I'm sure most visitors never saw. Pretty bad cave-in from the floor above, although Engberg says structurally the place seems alright. He's doing more detailed inspections soon. Looks like most of these crates are filled with key maintenance type equipment, as well as a variety of spare parts, etc. I don't know. Laxman will have to give this place a good inspection. I'm sure he'll love going through it all. Beyond me, I know that. Beetle cages. Convenient cave-in. Not sure how one is supposed to get in the beetle cages without it. No idea how they did it. Link, maybe. Regardless, pretty positive the cages were for beetles. Symbols on the front and quite a bit of remnants in some of the dirtier cages. We'll have to clean those up. Wonder when they all died. Speaking of access, another question. How'd they get to the second floor? Elevators skip the middle floor. More security, I suppose. Second floor. Destruction was a little more substantial than I thought. Looks like it tore out a section of the outer wall even. I'm going to get out of here until Engberg can come back again. Been a few days, but I'm back. I'm no expert, so I guess I have to trust Engberg. But he says this whole thing is one of the most solid, heavy pieces of construction he's ever seen. It's safe, he assures me. If I die here, and someone retrieves this recording, please sue him for me. Second floor looks similar to the first. Outer hall and a number of rooms. Have to remember that very few people probably ever walked these halls. There is no access via elevators, stairs, anything to get here. I assume it had to be done via a linking book, which is probably somewhere in the city. I suppose there could be a way to stop those elevators on the middle floor, but I doubt it. Regardless, this floor was extremely secure. Book access only, I'm guessing. Guard lounge. Next to the observation room, at least that's what I assume it was, is what looks like a guard lounge. Looks like they stayed here for long amounts of time. There are beds in here as well as couches. I assume the guys manned the window/observation post while visitors were coming in. Guard lockers. More lockers similar to the set downstairs, although these are manned with some heavy equipment. I'm sure Watson will want to see this stuff and keep it locked up well. In fact, I'm not even going to go into detail about it here. Laxman can write all about this stuff in a later report. I will say I didn't know the Dunny had this kind of technology. That's a bit of a tease because you never actually get to see whatever room he's talking about. Gear room. Now I see why this floor was so secure. Looks like the whole power structure for this building is here. Amazing construction. The entire building looks to have been powered by some underground water source that caused it to turn. They implemented a gear that would grab onto the teeth in the ground outside and provide them a power source as well. Talk about killing two giant birds with one stone. Pretty amazing. Power looks somewhat complicated. Seems as though there were at least occasions that power was turned off, as there are obvious controls to do that, and then started again. I'm heading to the top. Top. Wow, I thought this building was big. The main portion is absolutely giant, and rotating too, of course. I'm overcome with the amount of work put into this place just for security. It's everywhere. Almost comical picturing government officials walking the same paths I am. Amazing. To get to the other side, looks like one had to walk across the bridge to the rock pinnacle. The first place we've arrived that we've been able to save a link. And it's not big. And there's a massive structure facing you if you did. Pretty funny to try and picture an army invading. All of them bunched up on this stone waiting for the bridges to rotate. What the? My gosh. The creatures. These things are something out of a horror movie. I've been up here a little while and I don't see them often, but when I do, they are scaring me to death. I'm beginning to understand the fences and structures a little better. Perhaps some of them were designed to keep creatures out more than keep visitors in. Don't hang out in these woods unless you have a big gun. We never see any life on this age whatsoever, other than trees. Another bridge to reach the main portion of this place. More security. I will say that the platform between the bridges seems to have eroded. At one time, crossing the bridges was probably a security feature to ensure manageable groups would approach the larger building one at a time, but I would wager it was still a lot easier than it is now. The erosion to the platform between the bridges had made it a little rougher. I suppose the maintainers would like it even more in its current condition. Mudrooms. I'm not sure what to call these things, but they remind me of mudrooms, so I'll call them that. Not much here. Looks like each bridge has a mudroom attached to it with another group of doors, etc. There don't seem to be any kind of decompression or decontamination that went on here. Really, they seem to be nothing more than another spot for another set of doors, another secure location. Training center. I was going to go through each of the rooms here, but after making a quick overview, I think I'll just start with the entire thing. There are 3 types of rooms in this building, 2 of each kind. There's a control room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, a display room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, and then a conference room. These aren't colored. I assume there is, or though these aren't colored, I assume there is one for each team. The entire building seems to be centered on the massive wall in the middle. The control rooms control the wall. The display rooms display the uniforms that were worn in the wall, I presume, and the conference rooms allow the government visitors and high-ranking officials to confer about the training on the wall. See? So, control rooms first. I'm not going to go into controls for the wall in this doc. I'll let Laxman do that at some other time. Regardless, the panel here obviously controls the wall. The wall was used for training as well as testing of various suits. I believe the central room can get pretty hot, cold, smoky, or anything else I can imagine pretty quick. It was a competition. Whoever could get to the top the quickest, teams would set up obstacles and members would race. There is a side tunnel that provides access to the display rooms from the control room. Display rooms. Not sure that these were originally display rooms, or maybe they were. Either way, there are quite a few old maintainer suits in here. There's also the latest maintainer suit, or skin, here. I guess I should say the machine to put on the latest maintainer suit is in here. Now that we've had some time to look at this, it's incredible. We're talking about a suit that was skin tight, had linking abilities, etc. built in. Very high-tech as far as maintainer suits go. Very impressive. A maintainer would fall down the chute, and while traveling to the interior room / the wall, the chute would be placed on him. I'm begging to try this thing, but DRC is insistent no one does. Laxman already has someone on it trying to figure out more. I'm first when they do. I think these rooms could basically be described as team locker rooms. Conference rooms. Well, I guess these rooms were where the bigwigs sat down and talked about their maintainers. Obviously, they are set up to watch the wall, and there are displays that show the patterns being built and played on the wall. We'll never know, but I can see the guildmasters in here watching their teams compete, preparing to send them out to some radioactive fireball age to see if their new suits can stand the elements. Upper portions. I'm not going up now, but we do know the upper portions were used as prison cells. Typical Dunny technology, they had a single linking book that went to all the cells. Since the building was always rotating, a very complicated linking apparatus and timing mechanism was associated with the book. The timing of the link would determine which cell the person linked into. Apparently, it was very tight. Speaking of linking, this entire building is rotating as well. It seems that most visitors came on the path from the well, although there were also books directly to this building. There had to be. It seems that many of them also use the timing mechanism to link into specific rooms. Looks like another new feature designed and built by these guys. One of many, I'm sure. I'm just wondering where the main research labs were, or better yet, where did everyone sleep or eat? So yeah, that gives us a bit of backstory on the place where we're at. So this is security for the Guild of Maintainers, which is basically the secret police. Now, I'm going to go 3 of these mud rooms over. Vroom. Oh man, such gameplay, much wow. And here we are. Back to this. Loading screen. Oh, I'm sorry, Luna, that you missed the beginning. It wasn't super exciting. You did miss the first part where I had to use fraps, but I'll have to use it again, so don't worry about that. Here we are, once again, in this weird hellscape. Nothing that we can do again from here. We have to warp back. We actually cannot complete the age of Garisen without going to a different age at this point. So I'm going to get out of this stupid monkey suit. One of the problems with this game is every time you pick up alright, no. Is it hair? Yes, it's considered hair. Why wouldn't it be considered hair? Every time you pick up a
That's a nice jacket. It's not really you. You're more of the like baggy t-shirt kind of guy.
Yeah. Let's just go t-shirt for a while.
No, you see, you need to actually have it like be soft colored with a logo. Got anything better?
Nope. It's literally just Myst, Riven, or Cosmic Osmo. One of.
Yeah, do the Cosmic Osmo, because that's more your existential dread type shirt.
Okay. I'm gonna keep on the stupid goggles.
Oh,
because they're
damn
stupid.
straight. You wear glasses, so.
Anyway, as I was saying, you can't actually complete that age without going to another age. Now, we saw in that age that there was a note from Sharper that said not to mention anything about a weird linking stone because he didn't want people running around Teledon for it. So that's our next goal, is Teledon.
So Sharper Image told you not to go to Teledon?
Yes. The truth of a man is found in the darkness beneath the surface. Some light might reveal only what some men want to be seen. Ooh. Great. Fascinating. By the way, I'm absolutely not reading all of Sharper's journal when we get to that point. It's way too fucking long. You'll see what I mean. But here we go. This is Teledon. Yep, it's a shitty pirate shack. Can't actually do anything over here. There's a staircase. But the door is locked. And I hope those are mushrooms and not penises. Here we are. Teledon is basically Myst's mushroom kingdom. Yeah, achoo.
Sorry.
No, that's an appropriate response to the amount of fungal spores in the air, which are probably lethal.
No, they're good for you. Then you can grow mushrooms on the inside.
Yeah. So
the psychedelic ones, you'll be high forever.
There's a button here that doesn't do anything. We're gonna run around. Run around. Boy, these controls are great. Fantastic. Wonderful. Again, for those of you who missed it, I'm not using WASD to control my character. I hold down the left mouse button to make him walk, and hold down the left and mouse button simultaneously to make him run. Because that makes sense. Well, that doesn't seem useful at all. So here's the thing. This is a Dunning number 3. So we press it 3 times. Okay.
Riveting.
Yes, riveting. But it makes this thing work. So what is this thing exactly? This thing is like a viewfinder. There we go. As long as the sun is in the center of that thing, within that ring, all of our machines fire up. And these levers, and more machines fire up. This one is broken. It's not an error on my part. It's just that one doesn't. This walkway is broken. It just leads down to this mushroom, which doesn't help us. So we're going to go back down here and over this way. Ah, Teledon, the beautiful mushroom swamp. Truly one of the less shitty worlds. Alright, so hit that release, and then we want to jump into this stupid bucket. This is a good idea. Yep. There we go, guys. And the machine collects its snot or whatever. And here is our second cloth. Hey, look, it's a bird bug thing. And over here. Yep, that sure is some machinery. Let's wander our sluggish and overweight butts over here. I love how he just sits down and crosses his arms. I'm pouting. So, first of all, we're going to do this. This unlocks that door at the beginning. These give us some running lights. This button will prevent the constant cycling. I just turned it back on accidentally. No, 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 I'm not done. There we go. So there's a little line here. We're actually draining some water out. Which is important, because otherwise unlocking that door doesn't actually do us that much good. And now we want to come over here, and where is the stupid... There it is. So we've removed those foot pedals, and then we have these two buttons. One of them goes up, one of them goes down. Blue is up, apparently, which is good. Yellow would take us down to where we started the age at. But up is actually where we want to be. Let's hit this. Get some light going in here. This one we can actually move around a bit, but I don't know why. I don't know why they allow us to move it at all, because you can't really see anything with it. There's a box with lots of packing material, and hey, another page for our Relto. Over here he's got an aquarium of sorts. And here we've got a bunch of documents. A picture of a monster. A picture of a different monster. A picture of a mushroom with a crane. I don't know if you can read that. I certainly cannot.
Mushroom card.
Uh,
That's where the spores come from. They're carted around.
he is
Cute.
larger by far than any I had realized. I don't know. The something. Yeah, can't make it out. Clearly, he's obsessed with whatever that thing is. This is important information. Unfortunately, you can't take a picture of it because you can't pull your key out while you've got this document done. But, fortunately, I live in the future where cell phone technology allows me to snap photos of whatever the fuck I want, and this game can't stop me. This is important for later. Right here, we have a registration card for a Fryman Safe Haven 3. And here we have Fryman Safe Haven series. Accessing the safe for Safe Haven 2 models, blah, blah, blah. But we don't have a Safe Haven 2, we have a Safe Haven 3. For Safe Haven 3 and 4 models, the safe button is built into the light on-off switch. That makes sense. Simply press the light switch for longer than 3 seconds, and the lower portion of the tank will open. So, we have a Safe Haven Model 3. We press the light, for more than 3 seconds. Oh my. Somebody had a secret.
Can I have a secret?
I mean, if you want.
Yay.
Lots of pictures, clearly of Teledon. I'm guessing that that's concept art. This right here takes us back to the office on Teledon, but we don't want to go there. Documents on the wall. Pictures that you can barely make out. Come on. Okay, that's not how that's supposed to work. And this is kind of important because there's actually a puzzle solution that you get from looking through that. Which... Well, what are you doing, dude? Which apparently we can't get. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful game. Fortunately, I actually already know the puzzle solution by heart, so I don't need it. And of course,
how many times he's played this.
It's fairly simple to remember. It's Babo Gubu. Or Babo Gubo. That's the code. That's the code we need. Alright. This is added by Path of the Shell, I believe. Dr. Watson, big problems. The house on Nolaben is not empty. I met someone there today. My Dunny isn't great, but I spoke with him for a while. Yeah, he's Dunny, and as we figured, he knows a lot about the creatures. A whole lot. We obviously need a meeting ASAP, Marie. That's a reference to Myst 5, which had not been produced yet, but it was in the works, obviously. Presumably, this is a map of Teledon, but, I mean, good luck pulling any useful information out of it. This could be a doodle that I made in 3rd grade, for all I know. This appears to be a sketch of how some of these, like, devices work. And then we have 2 journals here. Douglas Sharper. This one is in the base game. This is extremely, extremely long. Extremely long. Look at this. Seriously.
Was somebody just writing just to burn the ink out?
I guess. And then this is Douglas Sharper 04. This is added with the 2 Dunny expansion after it was obvious that the game was a miserable failure. And then basically they talk about their project to restore the city of Dunny falling apart. And then you get this entry right here. 8/05/2022. Is someone else here? I'm not sure. Or I'm not sure I'm alone anymore. I'm going to have to be careful. That one obviously pulls its date from your system clock when you play it. Which is obvious because his previous entry was on 3/1/04. Anyway, there's some information in those books that's important, but I'll walk you through the key points anyway. Douglas Sharper, by the way, is an asshole. He's a big game hunter, and that makes him a bad person, as far as I'm concerned. that stone links us to this place right here. Now, you may notice that there's a slight problem here, in that there's nothing here and nowhere to go. So, yeah, we're gonna have to leave. But before we do, let's catch one of our touristy photos. Let's go home. We'll re-enter. So Sharper kind of doesn't trust the DRC. That's the gist of what his journal states. And it's really hard to tell, but we have a different roof now than what we did before we got that that extra page. So we're going to go warp back in. We can, if we want, go back to that stump where we can't do anything.
Stump!
But we're not going to.
Aww.
Because that would be silly.
You should go rub the stump, Tom.
Having hit that switch in the office... Jesus, that... Like, the way he, like, almost falls over. Like, come on. Like, you would absolutely break your neck if you fell over doing that. Like, look at this shit. This isn't even the longest ladder in the game. This is, like, kid stuff. So, because we drained all of this, we can get all the way down here. And this is how we get into the backside of Teledon. So, Teledon was using these mushrooms as food. Like, they were raising mushrooms as a delicacy. But they also had a secret. An area that was carefully hidden so that you couldn't get caught. Oh, hey, look at that. There's weird native artwork. This pipe leads us to this back end. Okay. And there are a lot of bones. And there are a lot of chains back here. So, remember that thing that I said you couldn't take a picture of because you have to, like, you can't put your key up? Well, that was a map of which of these pressure plates correspond to which numbers. If we look back at the wall, plates number 2, 4, 6, and 7 are flipped up. So, I think, if I remember correctly, 2, 4, 6, 7 is the ones we want. So you have to be able to read dunny numbers. This game does not, like, hold your hand in that regard. It's, you just better fucking know what you're doing. We need to use physics with tank controls, no less. Okay, that's weighted down. So that one is 4, and this one is 7. You can see how this is a puzzle that, like, if you had multiple people working on this, you could solve it pretty easily. But doing it solo, you have to use garbage and trash. That's number 5? No, number 1. Am I supposed to? I'm not supposed to do number 1. 2, 4, 6, and 7. This one. And this. If I've got this right. Yep. There we go. And again, more chains. So they had a thriving slave trade here. Now, this right here, you can see there's a book in that little alcove there, but we can't get to it. These doors are open, but this door is closed. Well, if we change the code, we can change how that works. So, but that little stone cubby is closed now. So we'll have to come back for that. This is the back end of Teledon. Now that creature that Sharper was obsessed with, you can actually get him to appear. There's certain specific steps you have to take. Yes, you have to fucking jump into that. It's like the only instance of you having to do that in the entire game. It's very annoying. You can use these machines as part of that sequence of events here. If I can get to where I can activate it. I'm not going to undertake all of it though, because it requires you to shut off all the machinery and like sit around for a while, and like quite honestly it's not that thrilling. You just see a little shadow appear for like a few seconds out on the water out here. But here's another one of our cloths. Okay. Now, let's go into this building. And more pictures and other such nonsense. A map down there that doesn't make much sense. And remember that Sharper mentioned something about a stone related to Garisen. That's this one. But we're not going to take it just yet. We're going to finish up Teledon because we're pretty damn close. So you'll wait for another day, Garisen. Plop, 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 plop. Okay. Just one more symbol to go. This loops us back. Now, right here, Lowering this gate is also part of getting the monster that Sharper calls Shroomy to appear. But like I said, you have to also turn off all the machinery. If you jump on this, it lowers, and then you have a path you can get back to. That is a glassy ass sea, Jesus. Not a wave on it. Hut! Vagina cave mouth. Down there is another seed spreader lure thing. And then there's this thing. You can zoom. And you can aim. And as you can see, you can shoot. Ah, there we go. There's one. There's two. No, that's actually all you need. There you go. And of course I did that zoomed out as far as I could because, you know, gamer cred. So now we go back this way, and climb up here, and now we can climb this ladder into the office. The other office. This
British
place.
version or the American version?
Yes. This place has some kind of like alchemical station. I don't know why. Treasure chests, because why not? A tie-dye shirt, because Sharper absolutely is not a hippie. I don't know why he would have that. And oh, look at that! Our last journey.
She's meeting the hippies halfway.
I'm meeting you halfway, you stupid hippies. Okay, so
Good Futurama reference.
having done that, there's a hidden door here. I mean, obviously on this side it's obvious, but like it's hidden on the other side. And I guess there's some kind of hidden clasp or something that he fucks with there. At this point, we have hit all of the markers that we need to hit. Now, I am going to hit this one again, because I want to set this as my warp in place. Having hit all of the markers, we can open this door.
Your journey has begun. You can't imagine how these small things affect the future, but someday you will return. Many paths have brought me to this place. The path of my great-grandmother, bringer of destruction. The path of my grandfather, the rebuilder of pride. The path of my mother, writer of dreams, and of my father, My dear father, the caretaker of burdens. And I knew that at the end of such great paths must lay a great purpose. I returned to the cleft to find it. Cleft. The fissure in the desert, the wound in the earth, the path to things beneath the surface. It was there I sought to find my purpose. It was from there I came to know the dead underground city of Denis. These Denis people who are now gone came thousands of years ago to the shelter of the cavern to return to leastness. They found solace in their smallness in the dark. And so did I. But light is powerful in the darkness. Did
Yeah.
you see the hidden caves and the cages? It is where the proud would keep the least. The least were only animals, after all. Animals that could blink. They could be put to work or play. They could ease the burden of the proud and fill their free time with entertainment. Quietly as Denis slept, their lives were taken because the proud make the rules. This wasn't the first time such a blasphemy was part of Denis. The histories whisper of it, like Vatouk the Acher or King Asinlef. And even in this age, it may not be the last. And now to these pillars. These 4 pillars around you are the very being of the Bahro. You must take them. They will bring a great treasure to Relto, your age, the island in the clouds. Relto will be their keeper for only a brief time.
Okay, she's done. So, I'm going to help you understand a bit of what's going on. Whenever Yisha talks about the Proud, she's talking about the old school Dunny masters. Like, the culture that built the city and, like, blah, 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 blah. Whenever she's talking about the least, she's talking about an alien species called the Baro. Something that is never explained, by the way. You just kind of have to pick up on it. So, hope you've been paying attention. Whoa, what the heck? That was
Did you break your
weird.
game?
I mean, slightly.
Oh, it's good for it though.
Yeah, it is.
It's fine. Still runs.
Okay. So, having done that, let's run back. So yeah, it takes a couple playthroughs, and it really helps if you play Myst 5 as well, to actually understand what the fuck she's even talking about with the Baro. Anyway, now that we've completed this age, we can go back to Garisen and complete that age. This is the only one where you have to complete it by starting in a different age. And hey, look at this. Another addition for Relto. And I don't think that that's like clothing you can wear, although it's hard to tell. Huh! So, we're looking for a way out of here. I think actually, like, I think this way is faster. We did see in that one journal that the lower level or the upper levels of the main fortress in Garisen was prisons. Well, that's where that stone, they're called Baro stones, those weird rocks with the parchment links. That's where that led us to. And here is Another chamber. We climb up here. Up, 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 up. This, no, 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 don't. Up, up. Have I mentioned that the controls are left mouse to move and middle mouse button to back up? And they're tank controls, and I hate them. 'Cause I do. This gives us our final journey cloth. As you can see, we're in the upper part of the main fortress. Let's run around here. We can maybe catch a glimpse of the littler fortress. This age is very pretty. I don't know if we can actually see the little fortress because of the angle where we're at and stuff. It looks like that's a no. Maybe it's over here? Oh. I think it's down there, but like out of sight. So we've now hit all of the journey cloths in Garrison, but we have to get to the journey door to actually complete it. We did find another page though, and that has added this little stream. Isn't that pretty? Completely useless, but it exists. That's something, right? Okay. So we're gonna have to warp in to the normal entrance, which means we gotta use fraps again to make this jump. Once again, we worm our way through. Alright. Past the down elevator that's over off screen to the right. I really wish that it was possible to like save state this game in case this screws up, but you know. Okay. So, Luna, because you were not here before, this jump is actually not possible, or at least extremely difficult, if you are running anything approaching a normal frame rate for this game. Because for some reason the collision is based on your frame rate. And if you don't have some kind of frame rate limiter running, you'll fall right through the rock. So it's looking stuttery, right? Because I'm running fraps, and there we go. And we're gonna hit this. We want this to be our link in and link out point.
Did you change to a Hawaiian shirt?
I found a tie-dye one in
So pretty much
Teledon.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
where you.
down there. That is where the journey door is. So we have to completely miss it. I think we have to warp to a different rock, but that's okay. The hard part is done because we can just warp back to that exact point and try again. Just wastes our time. And man, this game is glitchy on modern PCs. Okay, let's try that again. let's jump to this one. Game. 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 I guess now is a good time to talk about the camera controls. The camera controls are non-existent. The camera goes where it wants, and you have to deal with it. That's pretty great. That would be, you know, acceptable if this was a PlayStation 1 game. Actually, I'm lying. That would not be acceptable even for a PlayStation 1 game.
Shora, peace to you, mover of the least. 7 more journeys have moved you closer. I was seduced while in Denis. My humble darkness lasted only a short time before I began to bask in what I could do, what I could write. My gift, my path, the knowledge of my father and the dreams of my mother pierced a hole in the darkness.
Sorry,
A
hold on.
weakness. I was aware of my power and I was proud. Whole worlds at my fingertips. It was the same with the Denis, the same cycle.
Weird.
Light opens the
Aspect
darkness,
ratio looks
it takes,
off on
it
the
uses,
camera.
and it
I was trying to fix
keeps.
it, but whatever.
The Denis found power in these books you used to travel. They were a gift from the Maker. These ages you traveled to were their ages. Remarkable places giving life and taking life. This shadow came over them, this shadow of light, for it was in their enlightenment that they considered themselves better than the least.
She goes on like this.
And we were sad for them. Can you feel the Denis there? You've touched the remnants, the remains of their pride and power.
Yeah.
Let me tell you of King Karath.
Oh,
Dare we
please.
speak ill of him?
Please do.
One of the great kings, but yet he was the maker of the proud, for it was his system of guilds that served as the foundation of power and corruption. The powerful need control, fortresses and garrisons to guard their power, and soon the guarding is yet another thing to be proud of. Layers within layers built to preserve their ages and their pride from the weak and least who might attack from without. And yet it is from within that most nations fall. And so the mighty garrisons of Denis now stand vacant.
Great. Good story.
The writing hides what's between the lines. These journeys are to help you travel between. The Barrow will be returned. These pillars are our journey. The return of the pillars is the return of the Barrow. The bringing away and the bringing back.
You done? Cool. Okay, so as usual, Isha is rarely coherent. Her point is essentially that like these journey cloths are meant to like force you to seek out parts of these ages that were not intended for the public to see and see the like see the cracks in the society and stuff, like why they fell. So I forgot to show you the description of this world, but whatever. That's cool. So this world has crap. I went the wrong way. Hold on. This world is cool and fun. I actually like this one more so than the others. Garrison is neat looking, but like there's not really much to it. Like the world is neat, like the jungle and stuff. This one actually has interesting puzzles in it, which is more than I can say for the vast majority of the ages in Uru. Most of the puzzles consist of just like, how do I get from point A to point B? Whoop. Whipped that around a little hard. Here's our first mark in this world. And I'll hit up the description when we link out. If we link out. We'll probably end up linking. So, right here, we've got a thing, right? Okay. We can see ourselves looking through this, but like it's the foreground stuff that actually matters, so we can still complete that puzzle, thankfully. And over here, we have a portal to this place. I love the music in this place. So, this is a location known as the Kadesh Gallery. And it actually contains a bunch of secrets that will allow you to get through the age that we're in. This weird, kind of randomish looking art stuff. Yeah, we're gonna use that to our advantage. And this thing? Oh yeah. These, we want to make sure that get the numbers in this shot. Okay, that's good enough. And this thing. And this is a puzzle solution, but we don't need a picture of it because it's easy enough to remember. I'll show you how it all works. Okay, so let's look through this thing again. But this time, okay, so we got the okay, that is bad, very bad, very, very bad. Okay, this could be a very serious problem. Hold on 1 second. Okay, stay in first person. Why am I not in first person? Oof. Okay. That, unfortunately, that basically breaks this puzzle. Like, it's flashing the display, but, like... Okay, I saw enough of it there. Maybe I can figure it out. Okay, I think... It seems to be that if I jump in and out quickly... you know, actually, this is ridiculous. I'm going to restart.
Was it acting weird?
Yes, extremely.
You know it does that, though.
I do know it does that. Uru, ladies and gentlemen, Uru. So, the good news is that we can basically go right back there. The bad news is that if this doesn't work, I may have to call it while I figure out a solution to the problem, because if I can't see the puzzle, it's very hard to manipulate it. I've literally never run into this before.
Yeah, but you're usually used to playing on.
Ah, thank goodness. Okay, so you see how this works. So, we need to make that pattern look like this. So, we need a doodly bob in the... Okay. We need that doodly bob up there. I think like that. Let me check that photo again. I'm pretty sure that's right. Or is it? No, it was wrong. I needed it to look like this. There. Like that. Okay. Also, do note that I lied and said that we would check the description of this world, and I didn't check the description of this world before just immediately diving back in here. But you knew I was a scorpion when you picked me up. This world is very peaceful. Very soothing. It's like kind of a giant foresty place. There's another weird stone thing. We'll deal with that in a second. first of all, get our second doodly bob. And we want to set our second what's it. Alright. I think we want that straight down. But let's take a look here. No, 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 no. I want that angled. There we go. I think it's something very similar to that. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Now to hit this weird random stone rock thing. Get on the rock. Ugh. Seriously? Another location within the city where we can do nothing. But trust me, all of these will be important later on. We cannot jump over this railing, so we might as well just go home. Okay. Now, while I'm thinking about it, we did Teledon, we did Garisen, Kadish Tolesa. Only the way a man is when he is hidden is how he is. A shallow glimpse can deceive. Look deep, ponder, and recognize all that is hidden.
What kind of messed up poetry is that?
The shitty kind. Bow, bow, bow. We're gonna warp pipe our way back here. Okay. So each one of these things, when correctly set, influences the next one. We want the last one to look like this. So we want thingy at the bottom and that stuff. Also, my frame rate is really choppy sometimes for reasons that I'm sure make perfect sense. Alright, so we want that on the bottom. Am I even close to it? I hate this jumping in and out thing. Not particularly. I think I want that. There we go. So if you do all of those things correctly, it opens this secret passage. Yay! Get through there. And if you hit this button, it resets the puzzle behind you. Yay. But it's necessary to hit this journey cloth. Basically showing you that resetting the puzzles is part of this age. It's an intentional feature. Yep, run with your choppy frame rate and your chubby butt. It looks really skinny on the stream, so I hope that...
You're hoping the camera doesn't add 20 pounds?
I'm actually thinking the camera deletes 20 pounds.
That's a first.
So this is the puzzle where we're at now. So we want off, on, off, on. So we want this one off. This one on. This one on. That one off. And this one on. And you know you got it right if the pattern on the floor matches the image, which it should. Now, we go over here, and we're going to walk this light pattern. No, I'm doing this completely wrong, aren't I? You have to walk the shadow pattern, I think.
Because I don't think you can walk the light pattern. No? No, it must be the light pattern.
Yeah,
maybe the light.
Maybe it is the light. Okay. Let's try that. Because I don't think I completed it. But you just want to walk the pattern, basically. It's either the light or the dark. Or maybe you have to start here and go to the other side. Maybe that's my problem. I think that is. I think that this is the... Nope. Come on. Oh, Mashi. Why do you not remember things? You can definitely see, though, that the pattern more or less matches.
What if you have a piece wrong?
Wait. I think you're supposed to walk the shadow. There. There! I did it. I just was an idiot and was doing it wrong.
Well, it's not like it really spells it out for you either.
Yeah. Another button to reset, but we don't need to do that. You only need to reset the first one. This is a very nice picture spot. I like. Let's take a nice shot there. Also, we no longer need this. Very pretty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go hit the next marker point. And then I'm going to backtrack. Yes, invisible walls. That's pretty cool, right? Everybody loves invisible walls. Slap your sweaty palms on that thing. The next puzzle is the one that we didn't take a picture of. But the solution to it is pretty easy to remember. If you want to get the Relto page for this age, that's over here. And that puts some more trees on your Relto. So, here we are. Here's how we solve this. We push a button. We walk away. We think about the mistakes we've made in life. Man, that camera is swingy, isn't it? We can look around in here, by the way, but there's really nothing. See, there's tons of doors, but spoiler alert, all the doors are fake. Hopping like Kermit. Okay. After giving it a little bit, everything glows blue. Now, you just have to walk on symbols that look like trees. I fucked that up. Hold on. Because I started from the wrong place. You have to hit all the trees. Tree, 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 tree. Because see, there's like a mushroomy symbol that doesn't count as a tree. There we go. What that one thing was telling you was to like expose these to light and then turn the light off and they would glow. That's what the one picture was trying to say. Okay. Now for this puzzle. Our first goal is to get to that doorway up there. Now you may notice that these heavy weights are going down along the walls. You only have so many moves with this machine. One more from here. And then we raise up the second stone. We just got to make a ladder that will reach. This is not actually the solution to the code to get further in here, but it is something that we need to do because it's a journey page up there that we'll need to hit. Why they put the journey page up there is beyond me. I don't know what insight you're supposed to glean from doing this. Okay. Come on. Grab the thing, please. Could you? There you go. I knew you had it in ya. Sure. You can sink through floors. That's not terrifying. Mostly because if he falls actually through those floors, then he's going to panic link out, and I'll have to come back in here and do stuff again, and I don't like to do that. Okay, and then down this stupid hallway. Yay! And there's a little lever here. Exactly why this passage exists is beyond me. Like, it seems to be here for the sake of, like, an extra puzzle for the player to solve and nothing more. Like, everything else in here has a function. Like, it's a stupid function, but it's a function. This button resets it. While this is going down, let's take a look at this puzzle here. So, red, white, green, blue. And here we have the dunny numbers for 2, 3, and 4. But we don't have a red number 1. So red is 1. For the white one, we have 1, 3, and 2, but not 4. So 1, 4, 1, and the last one looks like 2. 1, 4, 1, 2. Two. And it doesn't matter what order you do these in, you just have to hit them the requisite number of times. Okay.
Are you being weird?
Now we climb up. Hopefully don't fall through the solid objects. Hey, this time it's actually solid. One second there, Luna. I gotta move my Fraps window to see what the chat is saying. I get that the game probably had to be this way because of the online angle they wanted to go with, but the environments are so much less visually engaging than the mainline Myst games. That's true, but like, there is some like, I mean, I don't know. There's some real like interesting fantasy elements to some of these.
To me,
they're definitely less realistic looking.
To me, it feels just empty, barren, and devoid of anything interesting. Whereas the other Myst games, you felt that there was life there. This doesn't even have it so much as a bug.
I mean, there was bugs on Teledon.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, there's no plants, there's no life, there's no breeze. It's all dingy.
So we're almost done with this age. there's one more journey cloth left. And all of this age has been building up to this. We see a dunny number 1 on this button right here, and then several other buttons that have no particular purpose. And on this one, we actually can bring up the picture. We no longer need this one, so let's get rid of that. This is the one we want right here. So each one of these cubes has several shapes, but they all share a similar theme. Like all the ones here are these tree shapes. All the ones here have cubes. These ones all have triangles. These ones all have interlacing cubes or lines. These ones all have circles, and these ones all have these like mushroom shapes, which are distinct from the trees because they have the lines going down the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we do is we want, and we see this one right here is 1. What do we not see here? Trees. We see the mushrooms, we see the interlacing cubes, we see square, and we see triangle, but we don't see the mushrooms. So what we want is whatever shape is there, that one cannot be present on the next button. So like we want a button that doesn't have any square shapes. This one doesn't. This one does. This one does. This one does. This one doesn't. So the next one is either this button or this button. Then after that, it's triangles. This one and this one have triangles. This one has triangle. This one does not. This one does not. So we're kind of having to eliminate possibilities here. These two could be number 2. These two could be number 3. 4 has the interlacing cubes, which are present here, here, and here. So 4 is either one of these ones. And then circle is the 5th one. The only one without a circle is this one. So this one must be number 5. This one then, by process of elimination, must be number 4, because it's the only other one that doesn't have interlacing cubes. Which means that this one has to be 3, which means that this one is 2. Double. And there we go. I no longer need that image. Okay. Here we go. We made it into the vault. Finally, after all these years. So, here's a skeleton, and right next to him, a link back to his gallery. And a letter in Dunny that I can't even begin to translate. He had tons of money, but he chose to just sit here and wait out the end with his hoard. And this freaking sucks, but wait a minute, is that a... No, that's not. It's just a detail on the wood. Thought maybe I'd found another Relto page. Okay. Okay. That's an absolute nightmare to do, by the way. We will be coming back here later. But for now, the journey door is down here, so we just gotta run along this. This is very OSHA approved and safe. And, like, honestly, like, I mean, how else would you store your valuables but in a giant vault suspended over a bottomless pit? I mean, obviously.
Well, that's where I want to put my valuables.
Like, I mean, surely the guy's heard of a bank.
You return again. Return to hear more. Return for a third pillar.
I mean,
It's an interesting cycle, this coming and going.
the hearing more
giving
part
and
of it's
taking.
optional.
Returning is what you must do.
Yeah, great.
For you have torn in half the very being of one of the least. You have heard their pain. Don't falter. The bones of Guildmaster Kadish speak louder than words.
Great.
His bones are the bones of Denis. He clung to the teachings of good King Nagin, who required good citizens to cling to their treasure. This Kadish you have seen would not give back, would not return, would not let go. He had long been one of the wealthiest of the Denis, owning more than he could possibly make use of.
Do say.
He built
Do tell
ages to
me.
protect the extra, and when the fall came, he clung to his possessions over all else. And so you see only death in his vault. Extravagant death. It is an image of Denis.
Great. You done?
The people of Denis didn't return easily.
Oh, God.
They only would take until all was taken from them in the Great Returning, the fall that destroyed them.
Right.
Denis fell only a few hundred years ago. All of it was removed. And my journey was similar. I could write things that no Denis had ever dreamed of. My writings smashed barriers held as absolutes for millennia. I could change things, I could move things. I could control things.
Great.
I learned beyond my parents, I learned beyond all. I wrote ages against any challengers, masters of the art, and they were beaten. I took all that I could hold. Only death can conquer pride so strong. For the Denis and for Yusha, it was death that moved me to return. All died. All but the least. The unproud. The Bahru considered themselves as dead already. And so they continued to watch Denis, always ready to give more away. And now they will return.
Oh, are you done? Like, I'm sure that this stuff sounded really deep when they wrote it in their journal at age 14, but, like, I don't get a lot out of Yisha's incoherent ramblings. The trees, it's not super impressive, but, like, the trees are a little bigger, and there are a little more of them. And there are some up there. Oh, wait. We got our description of the age. We gotta figure this out. Eater Chemo and Eater Gira. When all is taken from one, the only hope that remains is what is given by another. Through this giving, both are redeemed. I'm 90% sure that redeemed is not the word you wanted to use in that sentence. Anyway, this time... Really, dude? This time we actually have two ages that we're visiting. And this one, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, has a day-night cycle. Yep.
Tied to our clock.
I do not know what controls it. It will frequently be like completely radically different when you come here after you've been here once. So our first mission is there's tons of steam vents, and we need to cap them all. There's a journey page up there, but we can't get to it. Actually, I need this one open, in fact, to reach that one. Drop, 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 drop. And we want to just keep tapping these. That's some good shuffling there, dude. Oh yeah, there's one down there. And a journey cloth over there. Well, fuck. Alright. Let's try this again. We can actually try hitting that journey cloth over here. I'm just not sure entirely. Looks like right here. Ooh, there we go. Yay! Overshot. You may think that this is annoying, but believe me, this is nothing. Like, I will take this over the one age from Path of the Shell any day. Okay, here we go. Yes, just drop on this safely, and then hit this. Okay. And now jump to our death. Back in for like a billionth time. Are we, do we have enough pressure yet? I don't think we do. Nope. Not enough. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're building pressure. There we go. That should do it. Now, if you try to do all of them, then the pressure gets so high that it just pops it, and you have to start all over. But if you do all but one of them, then that one... Yeah, we can jump millions of miles. What about it? That looks pretty natural, game. Okay. Now, like I said, if we hit all of them, we'll pop the whole network and have to start over. We don't want to do that, so I'm going to release the next one that we need to have open. And then go back and seal up the one that we were just at. I regret nothing. Okay. It's a hell of a gourd back there, too. Jeez. So now... This is a shitty puzzle, by the way, because like those only work at shooting you up if you're standing on them before they go off. If you're standing on them after they start going off, it does nothing. These fishies, I'm not sure if they're there in the vanilla game or if it's one of the expansions that adds some. I do love this little canyon area here. This is usually where I take my touristy picture. But, not gonna lie, visually this is one of the least interesting ages in the entire game. So, there are dark places in this age. And we need to hit these little stoves to light them up. So that's great. And then there's this thing. This is another one of the game's absolutely terrible physics-based puzzles. What we want is to be able to walk on that like I just did. And I am already fucking down. There's a reason for this. Okay. Having set that up, let's run over here and go to its sister world. This world also has day-night, or this one doesn't have day-night cycles, but this one has weather cycles. These count as the same age, though. So, like, journey cloths that we touch in one count for the other, and so on and so forth. And here, we're actually getting a bit of backstory on some of this, because we're seeing, like, here's Teledon with the Barrow in cages. Here's Garisen with more Barrow around. And here's Kadesh Tolesa. So, like, we're seeing that the Barrow were kept in various places that we've already been to. This game is absolutely terrible, I must say, at conveying its messages. They're super subtle about it, and, like, the only time they actually, like, explicitly talk about it is when they have Yisha babbling nonsense, and she's completely wildly incoherent. I'm gonna hit this one again, just in case I need to use it as a warping point. So this is a very pretty age, though. And over here we see another thing that isn't really clear. That could be another reference to Garisen. I have no idea what that is. Doesn't even look like anything. Again, not sure what any of this stuff is. But this is an actual important clue for this age. Not that you can figure that out. Not sure what that's supposed to mean either. This is another borrow stone. I'm going to hit that in just a second. This is actually a reference to Path of the Shell, but again, good luck figuring that out. We haven't even seen those ages yet, and it just looks like gibberish. And you only... It's not like it helps you figure it out in advance. It only helps you figure it out after the fact. And of course he's got one of these big floaty, stony things. I mean, like, who doesn't have one of those, right? Anyway. It's raining. Let's get out of here. Oh, it is 10:30. Jeez. Okay, let me wrap up then quickly. This is another area where we can't get anywhere or do anything. But all of this is important. Important stuff. Okay, and because it is getting late, I think I'm going to call it here. And next time I do Uru, we will finish up with the main quest, and we'll move on to the 2 Dunee content.
Don't worry, you'll probably be streaming on Sunday.
I probably will. And eventually we will do Path of the Shell, even though I hate Path of the Shell so much. But this is really pretty. I do want to do one real quick thing, though, before I forget. Because I will definitely forget before next time. I need to take my tourist picture. So, what would make a good picture here? I'm thinking giant floaty anvil thing? Sure.
You can't be a selfie?
I mean, it could be, but, like, it's hard to do a selfie because you got to get somewhere where the camera will twist around for you. And, like...
See, that's where this game missed out.
Yes. Over here, there's another journey cloth that we can hit. And that leaves us with just one journey cloth left to go in this age. And if I'm really clever, I can get the Relto page very quickly. Some right here. Come on. One more try, and then I'm calling it. Well, I mean, one more try where I actually make it to the rock. There we go. This is super easy, don't worry. Not awkward at all. Get the block out of there.
You got the page.
I did.
But it was still on the ground.
Yeah, you don't remove them. That added the weird pattern on our floor. And also, if you go outside, there's now some decorative scroll work on the HUD itself. Wow. Super worth the effort. Anyway, guys. So, that's our first look at Uru. There's a ton more content to this. I haven't touched on the expansions at all, and we still haven't completed the main game. So there will be a next time. But until then, let's quit to DOS. Thanks for watching, guys.